Hello everyone, my name is Sherry Minnie and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in a rural small town by the name of Keensburg, Colorado, and we're about 45 minutes northeast of Denver. Today I'm on to show you the third card that we'll be doing at our Stamp-A-Stack this coming Saturday. I've had a lot of you sign up and I very much appreciate that. And I want to just show you some of the other card that we're doing. I've already done 2 videos on the first 2, and our third card is going to be this one right here. And on the end, it says Merry Christmas on the front. Pretty paper, and then on the inside it just says, may this be a Christmas to remember and cherish. So for this card, we are using the following supplies. We're using the Frosted Gingerbread bundle. This is in our mini July to December catalog. It is a bundle. If anybody be interested in ordering, you do get a 10% discount on the bundle. So it's the Frosted Gingerbread stamp set, and really what we're using out of here is the bell. And then the coordinating dies are called gingerbread dies, and we're using several items out of here. We'll be using the bell and the star, and we'll be using both images, the intricate one and the solid shaped one. And I think that's all I'm using out of there. For our inside greeting, we are using a stamp set called Christmas to Remember. Again, this is found in our mini catalog, and it's July, December. It's good till the end of December. We're also using a embossing folder. This is called Wintry, and there are actually 2. One is a pine bough, and then this one, I think you can probably see, is the snowflakes. And it's a 3D, so you get a really nice impression on that. We're using the banner Pick-a-Punch, and we'll be using the flag end of this punch. Our colors for our inks for today are going to be Early Espresso and Sahara Sand. And for embellishments, we will be using some red sparkly rhinestones. So to get started in your pack, now remember this is a Stamp-A-Stack, and so everything that I'm showing you today in the packet you will actually have 2 of, because you'll be making 2 cards. Of course, we have our envelope, we have our Sahara Sand card base. This is our normal 5.5 by 8.5, and it is scored at 4 1/4. Let me get that folded and burnished. Use our bone folder so we get a nice fold. You will have a piece of designer series paper. This is from the Tidings of Christmas, and this one is 4 1/4 by 5.5, and that's going to be going on the front of our card. You have a piece of basic white, which is 4 by 5 1/4. That'll be for your inside greeting. I actually put 2 in this one. You will have a piece of real red that is 3 1/8 by 4 1/2. I have another piece of real red that I have embossed with that snowflake folder. I think you can see that. This one is 1 1/2 by 5 1/8. You have a piece of old olive. This is 1 5/8 by 5 1/4. So 1 5/8 this way, 5 1/4 that way. In your packet, you'll have a square of cinnamon cider cardstock. We're going to use it to cut out the solid shape of the bell and the star, and I've already done that to save a little bit of time. You'll have a small piece of Sahara Sand. This is, what is this? 3/4 by 3 1/4. That's what we're going to stamp our Merry Christmas on. And you will have 2 cutouts that are the intricate bell and star, and I've already done those. I've also backed them with sticky sheets, so you won't have to worry about gluing those on. Okay, and then you have another piece of designer series paper. This is actually from the Gingerbread Gingerbread and Peppermint 6x6 designer series paper. And I've just cut this out with one of our stitched rectangles. This was really a 3x6 inch piece and I cut it down with that. Okay, so to get started, we're going to do our stamping first and get that out of the way. I have our inside greeting on my Stamparatus, but for the Merry Christmas, we will actually be just stamping that on this small piece, and it just fits. We'll be stamping it in the Early Espresso ink. I'll try not to get my head in the frame here, but I can't guarantee it because I need to get this straight, and sometimes I have to get right over it to be able to do that. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, you know what? Before I stamp it, I do want to punch it. That way I'll know exactly how much room I have. This punch does cut off a little bit. So all we're going to do on this one, I want to use this end. We're just going to stick this in here. You can do 3 different sizes on this punch. We're doing the smallest, the 3/4 of an inch. And then I turn it over and make sure that it's centered in the middle. And then that's all there is to the punching of that. Now I'll make sure that I get my greeting stamped correctly. I want the flagged end to go to the right. And we will just stamp this down and hope that I did it straight. We'll find out. Not too bad. Okay, I'll close the ink pad up. And then for the inside greeting, again, remember to always check your orientation. This particular card is going in the landscape or the longer crossways. And for that one, we're again going to stamp in the Early Espresso ink. I do like to put a stamp set underneath the lid. That way it makes it a little easier to get the ink on there. I don't know why I don't remember to bring my Debbie tool in here. I have it on my work table and I've been really doing a lot of stamping, so we'll just use the hand on this. And that's a nice dark image, so I'm not stamping that again. And then for our envelope and for our inside piece, we will be taking the Sahara sand. First of all, let me shut this one up. Taking the Sahara sand ink. We'll be taking the bell image, and on my envelope, I'm going to stamp that down in the right hand corner. Okay, and then in the on the card front, I was looking to see if I had my spongy pad in here. Maybe this will help me get a little better image. I had it in here, but who knows. So on the inside layer, what we're going to do is we're going to stamp one of the bells like right down in this corner. We will ink it again, and we will do this one in the upper left corner. And I think that does it for our stamping. Okay, so we can take our inside piece and we can put it in our card base as soon as I find what I did with it. Maybe I didn't bring one in here. I'll run get another one. Okay, I actually had it here. I was just not looking for it to be folded. I forgot I had folded it. So we're going to take our Stamp and Seal or whatever adhesive you like to use. And we will put this on the inside layer of our card. You have your normal 1/4 inch border on this inside piece. Okay. Now for our card front, what we're going to do is we're actually going to cover the entire front of our card front with this Designer Series paper. And I just wanted to show you a little trick that might help you, because sometimes it's really hard to line up and get it even when you're doing the whole page. So here's what I do. I have my stamp apparatus, or you can use anything that has a square edge to it, and like your trimmer, just anything that you have. And I take this, I take my card base, I lay it here. I take my Designer Series paper, and I'm going to use the green cap glue. And I just put glue around here. Keep in mind, ladies, that when you see me gluing on the camera, it looks like I'm using lots more glue than I actually am. I just use a small piece. And then you take this and you just line it up in that corner. Your card base is lined up in the corner, and that way you'll have a nice even card front, and it'll be fitting right on your card base. I have a little bit of overhang here. What I'll do when we're done, I'll just trim that off. It's almost impossible to cut 2 pieces of paper exactly the same size unless you're cutting them at the same time, and I did not do that with that. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our Designer Series paper, and actually I'm using this side. This side I do like this, but I thought it was a little busy for what I wanted to do. Too many big images on this side. And again, we're going to take this, put our glue on here. Now this one you have a teeny tiny border, so that's why I like the liquid glue. That way it lets me move things around a little bit. And there we go. Again, I had a little bit of too much glue right there in the corner. Take that off of there. Okay, and there we go. Now we can take this and we can glue this to the centered on our card base, and for that I'm just going to use my Stamp and Seal. This is not a really hard card. There's quite a few pieces, but it's a fairly simple card. If you were going to make a lot of them, you probably would want to reconsider, because trust me, I cut out a whole bunch of these, and there's quite a bit of cutting on it. Okay, now we're going to take our embossed red piece. Again, this is the snowflake, and I'm going to use this one more time, because this one you also have just a very tiny little border. And we're going to put the red on top of the old olive piece. Trying to get it somewhat straight and even. Okay. I did not put a lot of dimensionals or pop-up dots, whatever you want to call them, on here, just because I was thinking that of the extra postage, and the post office has got new rules and regulations about that. Now I'm putting some adhesive on here, but I'm only putting it kind of in the middle, because you already have one layer here, and if you put it all the way across and you stick the ends down, then you get a little bit of a bump. So I'm just sticking it basically in the middle, and we are going to kind of center this on from side to side, and then the center of your other Designer Series piece. Okay, now what you're going to do next is we're going to take our solid bell and our solid snowflake, and we're going to take these, and like I said, I did put adhesive sheets on the back of this for you, and sometimes it's harder to get the backing off than it is, although I wasn't having any trouble on the ones I made, and I've made about 12 of these already today. It came right off, but of course I'm on camera, so there we go, not too bad. And most of the time, if you have any little pieces left in your die cut, they will come out when you pull the adhesive off. I only have one little one, so you'll want to check them and make sure. Now, when you put these on, there is a little bit of a border, so I just kind of laid it down here. This I can kind of reposition as long as I don't rub it down, but once you rub it down, it's there to stay. Okay, so you'll have something that looks like that. Isn't that pretty? I like that. All right, and now we will do the star. We'll see if my little pieces pop out here. I'm not sure. I cut these. I was cutting on these last night till quite late, and finally I said, okay, I'm done. My eyes were tired. My hand was tired from cranking. I said, yep, I'm done. We'll get up in the morning and start again. All right, and again, same scenario. There's a little bit of a border. You just kind of place it down. If you like it, then you rub it down. Okay. Now this one we are going to put down with just regular adhesive. I didn't do the whole thing, just kind of in the middle. We're going to kind of tip it. I hope I'm in frame, ladies. We're going to tip it a little bit, just like that. And then for this one, for the star, I did pop it up. So we'll take a couple of dimensionals, put them in the center. Take our backings off. And then you might want to be a little bit, we're going to put some rhinestones on here, and a couple of my other samples, I didn't get this positioned the way I should have. And so I kind of covered up the spots that I wanted to put dimensionals on. Okay, and now for our greeting, since we have dimensionals here, we aren't going to put any on this side because it would make it a double, but we will put a couple on this end so that you'll have a nice flat layer there. So I'm just going to take a couple of dimensionals and put them on this end. And then I will take my glue and I will put that on this end because this is the end that's going to be put down on the star. And then I kind of centered it in the center of this red embossed piece, and I went over a little bit. And of course, trying to keep it straight. Okay, and then we get to put the pretties on. So I put quite a few, and I'll have plenty at class if you, when you guys come, so you can put the same amount if you wish. So I put one in the center, and then one on each of the points of my star. Hope you're all doing okay. My husband's got a cold. We thought perhaps we were a little concerned about COVID, but he's tested negative and he's feeling better. It's just, he's one guy that is so susceptible to colds. I don't know why. We try everything. He does vitamin C, and zinc. We try everything, but he's just a guy that if he gets around somebody that has a cold, he just can't seem to fight it off. Okay. Guess what? That's it. We are done. So here's the one that we made today. And here's the sample. And as you can see, the only difference is I have different designer series paper. I didn't have enough to give everybody the same. So when you come to Stamp Stack, you'll all have different designer series paper. You can find all the measurements and products that I used on my blog. My blog address is simplylovestampin.com. And if anybody's interested in ordering anything, you can do it at my Stampin' Up store, which is sherrymini.stampinup.net. Thank you all so much for spending a few minutes with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.